Right edition, welcome and happy day. Hey, to make that noise, y'all gotta have ammunition. We have 11,000 rounds of ammo that we're making a draw for. Doesn't cost you anything to enter, and all you gotta do is just put your name and everything there. Go online, www.rightedition.com. Enter on the 15th of the new year of January. We're gonna make the draw while at the SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. Tomato. Make sure y'all enter. Licking fingers, taking paper, throwing, here we go. Keeping on talking about guns now in Canada. The Canadian government says, hey, you can't protect yourself, it's against the law. And by the way, we got all these other gun rules that the Liberals brought in, and we now have adopted them as our own. So we don't trust you people very much. All you good people, the ones that have licenses and get background checks, you're just a bunch of hoodlums. So. I kind of go on and on. But in any event, I'm trying to set the stage for what they've done. You talk about being hypocrites. Liberals are hypocrites. I get it. And the government in Canada today is actually, by label, by definition, is conservative, but they're not. They're really liberal, or certainly the majority of them are. And here's where I'm going with that terribly long preamble. They sell guns. The Canadian government sells guns to Iraq, Algeria, Pakistan. They're selling guns, grenades, and there's no background checks, there's no licensing. They're just selling guns. They're in the export business, and their own citizenry is not allowed to have a gun. If a bad guy is chasing you and shooting at you, by law, you're not allowed to get a carry permit to shoot back. But yet they're selling guns to people in Iraq to go out and shoot people in Iran. Can you believe this? I can't believe it. It makes me so upset. I just gotta scream. I think I just did. Ontario, there's a 12-year-old boy there, a terribly tragic story. He recently died in school. He has a puffer. Every time he takes it to school with him, has it in his bag, the teacher takes it away, calls the mother, scolds her and says, how dare you do that? You know that ain't allowed. But he can't breathe very well. He needs it. It'll be in the office whenever he needs it. One day, the poor boy didn't get to the office on time or in time. He died. It's a puffer, for heaven's sakes. It ain't a loaded gun, and even if it was, I'm digressing. Come on, let me get back to the real story here. What is going on with government people now? The mother has gone to the schools and said, would you people please make sure this doesn't happen again to some other child? What a great mother. I mean, she's gracious, she's kind, and the government now is saying this, hey, we're going to see if we can't force school boards to do this, to allow puffers to be in the hands of the people who need them. We're going to pass a private member's bill. You really have to have a law for this kind of stuff. I mean, firstly, the teachers that did this or didn't do it, didn't allow him to have his puffer, they should be charged for murder because the child has died. They shouldn't be charged. How dare they? Who are these people? The parent said repeatedly, I want my child to live. He must have the puffer with him. And oh no, we're smarter than you. They're all communist jerks. And I gotta say, it's upsetting to say the least. And they should all go to jail or be so far in jail you got to feed them with a slingshot. But where's capital punishment when you need it? In Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the city police there have been talking for some time about making special headgear designs for Muslims. They've now done it. Okay, looks like a scarf. I mean, what does that mean? So now the Muslims get that. If somebody else wants something, do they get it too? I mean, you're soon going to have it's going to look like a parade full of clowns. Everybody's going to be dressed different. Why don't people have a uniform and stick to the uniform? You don't like the uniform? Don't be a policeman or a woman in this case. That's just bloody awful. I mean, you don't like my culture? Go home. That would be a good idea. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, north of Saskatoon. Another culture issue. Here's an Indian man that's responsible for killing a 3-year-old boy a year ago. He, blunt force and trauma is what the boy died of, and he's been charged now with second-degree murder. But because he's an Indian, I'm sure he'll get off with a slap or maybe even a hug. I mean, because they have different laws than we do. Judges always say, hey, you're an Indian, you have a culture thing, we'll look after your culture. I say, let's start using our culture. My culture is put a rope around your neck, hang until dead if you do something like you took the life of a 3-year-old boy. Should be right up there with the school teachers. It's pretty much the same thing. I'm on a rant here. Hey, I'm going to stop now and tell you a joke. lighten up here for the end of the day. The other night I was out with a bunch of guys celebrating Christmas, because that's what it is, hey. We're all drinking too much, me in particular, so I thought I'd better take a cab home. So I did, and I went through a roadblock and everything, and you know, I had never driven a cab before. I got home safe and sound. Y'all come back tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.